Morgen.
Sie machen Technik?
Ja, richtig. Mhm.
Guten Morgen, Herr Siebert.
Guten Morgen.
Okay, so sieht das jetzt hier aus.
Mhm.
Gut aus.
Wo ist denn mein... Wo ist denn die oberste Leitung?
Oben im Tagungsbüro.
Oben im Tagungsbüro. Okay. So, ich habe jetzt hier schon mal, ich habe ja noch mehr Kleidung mitgebracht, wenn Leute frieren. Das lege ich jetzt mal hier hin. Ich lege das mal rein.
So, gut, dass du kommst. Ich bin schon die ganze Zeit.
Ich nur euch auch.
Nochmal die.
Zum Kinostart von Alles steht Kopf präsentiert Fiat
Machtwort vorbereiten!
ein Machtwort in Sachen Angebote.
Feuer!
Die Fiat Vorteilswochen mit tollen Angeboten für viele Fiat-Modelle. Mit bis zu 4.000 € Kundenvorteil.
Gute Arbeit, Gentlemen.
Bis 31. Oktober bei teilnehmenden Fiat-Partnern.
Welcome to this introductory video. Here, you'll learn about guidelines and techniques to help you become a successful YouTube partner. In this series of videos, we'll discuss critical topics such as copyright and policy, audience development, and analytics. After watching each video, try out the tips and recommendations to see how they work for you. Let's start with helpful information about your account. When you log into your YouTube account and click on the drop-down menu, you'll see links to My Channel, Video Manager, Subscriptions, and YouTube Settings. YouTube Settings is where you'll manage various account-level changes, such as your password and email options. From the Email tab, we encourage you to set your email notifications to receive updates on product changes, new features, and news on partner-exclusive events and programs. The Video Manager is where all your videos live and where you'll spend your time uploading, editing, and monetizing your videos. Monetizing simply means that we place ads on or near your content. To submit videos for monetization review, locate eligible videos you'd like to monetize. Click on the Monetize icon to enable that video for monetization. For a video to be eligible for monetization, you need to own all necessary rights to use it commercially. You can also opt future videos for monetization on upload. Just click Submit this video for revenue sharing as your video is processing. Remember, you must possess all the necessary rights for your content, including music. Choosing your ad types is the next step in monetizing effectively. There are several different ad formats you can enable. The most popular formats include in-stream ads. In-stream ads are 15 or 30-second pre-roll, mid-roll, or post-roll ads. They include skippable ads called True View, which gives users the choice to skip the ad after 5 seconds. When given the choice, many users actually watch True View ads. This format tends to earn equal or higher revenue than standard in-stream ads. In-video ads appear on the bottom portion of your video and are usually text-based. A companion banner ad may also appear next to some of your videos. To update the ad formats on your video, click on the Edit button and select the Monetization tab. We suggest that you experiment to see which formats work best for your content and audience. You can also use YouTube Analytics to view the performance of different ad formats for your channel. There are many benefits to becoming a YouTube partner. Continue growing as a partner by clicking one of these videos. Thanks for watching.
Morgen. Where do you live?
So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Hello. Good to see you. You just arrived from the No, yesterday. I was here around 4. Okay. So it's a very true story.
Yeah, it's
Good morning. Ich extra helfen an der Workshops beim Dr. Pfeiffer was sagen, what makes your school work. So, die Frage ist, wo bin ich? Und gibt es die Möglichkeit, eine kleine Slideshow zu machen?
ja, wir haben den Laptop und werden wir können ihn zur Verfügung stellen im Raum.
Ja.
Und in welchem Raum wir sind, erfahren Sie gleich noch.
Und da ist auch einer drin. Also nicht, dass wir da 5 Minuten lang umbasteln.
Nee, wir werden den dann installieren. Ich glaube, noch ist einer da.
Sie sind jetzt eingesprungen hier.
Richtig, genau. Eigentlich wollten wir einen Livestream mit YouTube anbieten. Jetzt stellen wir fest, dass prinzipiell der Livestream läuft, auch jetzt schon. Allerdings, was vorher berichtet wurde in Deutschland, es gab anscheinend jetzt vor kurzem einen Rechtsstreit und die GEMA hat gesagt, es könnte ja sein, dass Musik von der GEMA nicht vorkommt. Dementsprechend haben wir das komplette Angebot in Deutschland blockiert. Afrika macht es zu.
Ja, Afrika, China ist
Good morning.
This is my text for the translator.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, because I don't use PowerPoint, I have an extended handout. This is not the handout, so they can follow me. And for the translation, this is the text I'm going to present. Yeah?
Wonderful, thank you.
Nachher auch mal ansprechen, ja? Ja. Wir machen jetzt so eine ja, was gegen die Afrikaner, die dürfen zwar, aber wenn die den Check haben, läuft das ja nicht. Also ich habe über so eine Telefonverbindung läuft das ja nicht. Ja, ja, ist es. Wir haben gleich schon gefeiert.
Ja, ist in Ordnung.
Is somebody music teacher?
Willing to join in?
We're not starting yet, but I have a small organizational announcement. We have organized a live translation for those who are French speaking. There will be the most part of the conference will be in English and some in French. And for the part in English, you have all the French speakers of you have the possibility to get a live translation. And now we need to know who wants one. And there are there are two channels that are relevant now. If you want to hear it in French, then you need the channel 1. And if you want to hear it in English, it's the channel 4. So everyone raises his her hand who wants a translation.
It's a translation.
Alors, il est peut-être logique d'annoncer ce que le professeur Simeoni a dit, d'annoncer ça en français parce qu'il s'est adressé aux francophones. Alors, la grande partie de la conférence va être en anglais, mais il y a la possibilité d'avoir la traduction. Alors, il vous a demandé de faire signe si vous voulez envoyer cette traduction en français. Donc, je demande encore s'il y a quelqu'un qui n'est pas encore muni des appareils pour la traduction en français. S'il vous plaît, faites signe. Non? Je fais la compétition moi-même, je change entre français et anglais, mais bon, il paraît que tout le monde, tous les francophones qui le veulent, sont munis d'un appareil de traduction. Bon, merci beaucoup. Merci.
Kann hier jeder Französisch? Hallo? Das klappt doch nicht. Die brauchen doch auch die Headphones, wenn jemand Französisch spricht. Also von daher. Ja, das ist genau die Frage. Außer die beide Sprachen sprechen. Weil wenn jemand Französisch im Plenum spricht, brauchen alle andere das Headphone.
Ah ja, I think it's not clear that the
No, that's not
presentation
clear.
is
That's not
printed
clear.
out.
So, good morning everybody. I think, good morning everybody. I think it was not clear enough. We have people who speak English and we have people who do speak French. If a French person is speaking, people who do not speak French need a translation. If a French person is speaking, if an English person is speaking, and people who do not speak French, they need a translation. So only those people who do speak French and English do not need a translation. Okay, so could you be a little bit more moving and taking these things if you need them? Il va avoir un truc comme ça. Seulement les gens qui parlent le français et l'anglais n'en ont pas besoin.
Könnte das noch Portugiesisch? Ja, okay. Dann komme ich dann. Okay. Because I'm pushing English, but not.
Yes, then question. So you have directly contact with that French,
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you? Nice to have eyes like one.
Yes, that's wonderful.
I had to wait a little bit to go on Skype with my wife. Yeah, so I had to stay up, keep my eyes open. but I fell asleep easily. I'm blessed. I have no problem sleeping, so I'm able to go to bed and sleep soundly, and I don't wake up in the night.
And foreign bed.
Yeah, in foreign beds, it doesn't make any difference. I can sleep on a plane very well too. So.
That's quite good.
So if you see me sleeping here, you'll know why. only in the bed. That's right. That's right.
I will mix it up. Marcus Simon, can you listen to me? But I say it in a right way. If you want to hear in English, you take the channel 4. If you want to hear the French spoken in English, you take channel 4. If you want to hear the English translated into French, you use channel 1. So try this and make it familiar. Alors, si vous voulez entendre le français, nous allons le faire comme ça que il faut. Non, si vous ne parlez pas anglais et vous voulez entendre tout ce qu'il est dit en anglais, en français, il faut prendre le canal numéro 4. Non, hein? Okay? Okay.
We have a bit too less headphones. Is there anybody who has already got one, although he or she speaks both languages, maybe one not so very good, but is able to understand the main things? Okay, then we share later on to those who need it really much. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I extend a very warm welcome to you all, here in Wittenberg, here in Germany. I welcome you on behalf of the International Steering Group of the project Schools500 Reformation. And I welcome you too on the behalf of the Protestant Church of Germany. That is the communion of 20 different Protestant churches all over in Germany, Lutheran churches united and Reformed churches together. Nearly 24 million people in Germany are Protestant. Here in Wittenberg is an important place for the Protestantism of Germany and as well for the Protestantism in the whole world. You know this door. Yesterday evening, a lot of us have been there. It is the door of the castle church, the Schlosskirche of Wittenberg, where the theses were appointed by Martin Luther. The Protestantism is here in Wittenberg the original felt. We are 74 persons responsible for Protestant schools in the tradition of the Reformation, and we come from 24 different countries. And we come from all the 5 continents of the earth. And now we are together here in the Oktober. This is a very special place too, because the buildings here are the former University of Wittenberg that was founded 1502 and called by the humanists Oktober, that means white mountain, because the white sands of the river Elbe are not far away. Martin Luther came here 1511 because his confessor Staupitz was here professor for theology. 1512 was Martin Luther starting to teach as a graduated lecturer in Biblia. And you know, he made his important lectures about exegesis of Epistle of the Romans and others. Today, the house of the Oktober are a foundation of public right and are belonging to the University of Halle-Wittenberg. The commission is to promote scientific work here in Oktober. So it is quite appropriate that we organize this conference together with the church and science. Professor Annette Schäufler and Professor Henrik Simjoki, both of the University of Bamberg here in Germany, are members of the staff of the international project and church perspective together here in the conference, what we are starting now. And we want to start this conference with the watchword of the day. And this watchword is from the Epistle of the Romans, Epistle 3, 23 and 24. That is something common of the whole Protestantism in the world. I read it. We have all sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and all are justified freely by the grace through the redemption that came by Jesus Christ. That's quite a good Bible word for the start of the conference. Be welcome. We hope that we are blessed all together, and we want to sing all together. And we want to sing a song that is in Latin, and later on we changed that into our own languages, and so we have a Protestant turn in the songs too. We start with the first song you see here on this paper, and we have the joy that to this song, Dona nobis pacem, that means give us peace, Lord. We have the joy that Ayanta Chile is helping us to sing it together.
Good morning. Hopefully, some of us are familiar with this song. I'm not sure what portion of our group is familiar with it, but it can be sung as all together, and it can also be sung in different parts. So if you notice, there's 3 parts labeled 1, 2, and 3 on the song sheet. Frederick, do you have another song sheet? Charity is missing. Very good, thank you. Is anyone else missing a song sheet? Oh, over here. Okay, great. So you'll see 1, 2, and 3. So what we'd like to do first is sing through all of it together from start to end. And then there's a repeat. When we sing the repeat, we will split into 3 parts, okay? So on the right side in the front, I'd like you to be part 1. And hopefully one of you knows this quite well and can sing out for those who are unfamiliar. And then on the left side here, if you could take parts 2, and again, hopefully somebody knows it quite well and can sing out. And then what I'm going to do is split the back part here, and then from here back, can sing 3. Okay? So when we repeat it and you sing your part, you'll sing it 3 times, the same part 3 times. Okay? Yeah? Okay, very good. Make sure it's not too high. Okay, so starting out, do, don't know, is awesome, awesome. Do, is awesome. Do, is awesome.
Until the last minute, and we still have one person on her way because of all the struggle with visa problems. So if you have such an effort to come here, must be very clear why you do this. So what do we want to do with this conference here? What are our objectives and why are we here? We are here in these 3 days to learn a lot about each other and of course to reflect this idea of networking together. When I was first telling some colleagues that we want to meet internationally with Protestant schools, they said, yes, we know there are Protestant schools in Germany, of course. Yes, and I think in Austria. Yes, and maybe in Hungary. And then I said, do you know where the most Protestant schools you find in the world, where is it? Yes, in Germany, of course. No, I said, it's Congo. So we want to learn about each other. We want to know about each other. And we want to know about all these corners in the world where people are working in Protestant schools and try to get the spirit of Protestant schools. And therefore, for us, it is important to reflect the identity and the profile of Protestant schooling. And of course, to discuss this in an ecumenical and global horizon. In an ecumenical horizon, because Luther and other reformators have been the beginning, and we are now a big family of very related Protestant schools, but sometimes with different denomination. we want to work together, and we want to have a shared and visible Protestant profile. And we want to reflect how can we use this Reformation Jubilee as an opportunity to reflect our profile. And what does it mean to have this profile in a globalized world? In a world where Protestantism is all over and where these schools are working in a lot of different corners in the world. And how can we cooperate in a way that we share global issues and that we show global solidarity? And couldn't it be a good vision that schooling and Protestant schooling become another form of globalization? Another form of globalization in a way that we are connected in solidarity and not in concurrence and struggle. So how can we use this as a force and as a shared force? And of course, this can only work if you know people. This can only work in encounters. This can only know if you are aware that in different corners of this world there are friends and partners. So we want to use this conference and these 3 days in this wonderful surrounding here in Wittenberg to get know each other. And to get know each other in a way that we can come back in our countries and share this and give the idea of a network and of a very global family of Protestant schools to others. So we want to establish new contacts and partnership, and we would be very happy if everybody from you can leave Wittenberg afterwards saying, yes, I have found some ideas and partners for my schools. And of course, we want to stay together in a way, and we want to plan and to reflect how can we work together. So what could be the next steps we can share and what should we do? And to be very honest and very clear, we see this as a network. So it's not us now having already a master plan, but we want to share ideas and we want to reflect ideas and we want to work on ideas together with all of you. So, and of course, to make this all possible, we hope that the special spirit of this very small city give us some inspirations and some visions. You know, in these rooms where we are today, here in Wittenberg, it was Martin Luther teaching. And we will visit his house. And we will celebrate in the church he was celebrating. And we will see that here in these rooms, it was Philip Melanchthon working, founding the first Protestant schools and reflecting about the interconnectivity between education and faith. And reflecting from their time, in their time, the perspective of a relationship between faith, reformation, education, and global responsibility. So today this city is, as you see, a very small city, but it is a city which has given a lot of inspirations. And we hope that these inspirations will give us some further visions and will take us back with some visions where we can practice in our schools the relation between faith, education, and global responsibility. This is what we want to do and to achieve and to reach with these days. And we are so thankful and so happy that you join this idea and that we all can do this together and to reflect and to work on this vision. How can we give an inspiration into Protestant schooling, which will not stay in these small rooms here, but spread all over. So, I hope very much that we will reach this. And we will reach this by the program, we hope, what we have been working on, and Hendrik will now introduce the program.
Thank you, Annette, very much. I think it's my part now to kind of introduce the architecture of this conference to you, the ways we try to kind of trace these aims and objectives that Annette just told us. We're spontaneous people here, as you probably have seen, so we decided to kick out all the hours and minutes out of this presentation just to show that we are not here, even in Germany, dictated by time. And I'm quite happy actually when I look at my clock that we did it. We have divided our conference in 8 blocks. And you can understand these blocks as being steps that we want to take, joint steps in the way to realize the aims and objectives. We're now getting started. I think you will see what that means. So I'll move quite fast into the second block, which is about the much discussed question of the identity of Protestant schools, and we try here to define and redefine this identity in the interplay between the global and the local. And why Siebel Miedema is an excellent choice to show us the path, I will say later. We will not be here only lecturing and listening, but we will be interacting, discussing, later celebrating, and that's why we try to have many dialogical parts in this conference. As the workshop after discussed further on, we eat, important I know after yesterday, and then we come to the block, global perspectives on Protestant. Help us to do that. I will start to tackle this interplay from a theological perspective. Then my dear colleague, Reverend Samuel Mutabazi, is going to do the same from an African perspective. And I'm also happy to announce that Liam Badgimont is going to talk about the same issue from a more pedagogical perspective. And I hope that these different perspectives kind of grow together, and when we then continue with our process, we will have a dimensionally rich approach to this objective of our conference. Then in the afternoon we will do something I'm very eagerly waiting to. It will be introduced by Klara Szelowski from Hungary, bringing our ecumenical approach into fruition. And then we do something getting connected within Schools 500 Reformation. I'm not going to say here what we're going to do, because that will definitely surprise you. We start the day with an evening reception at 6:30. We have greetings from many parts of the world, dinner, and something which is very, very important in such conferences, just time to talk to each other, have a good, pleasant conversation. We need time for that, of course, too. That's the first day. We continue tomorrow. Annette and I will say of the after the coffee break, we take the next step. The annual theme, take responsibility and speak up locally and globally. Heinrich Bedford Strom, who is in a way, in a very Protestant way, the head of the Protestant church in Germany, will come and greet us, and he's a theologian on the field of public theology. So we'll also hold a lecture, and I like this combination very much, because after this lecture, which will issue questions of public theology, now the public voice of our students of Protestant schools will be the subject of the next part, speaking up publicly, Protestant schools, speaking up for a better future, the 95 theses of students at Protestant schools worldwide. You have got the little brochure. I think that's something that is going to be an important challenge and task for us kind of to hear at these voices, and from there to go on. That will we do in the following workshop. And then the idea is actually after lunch that we will then think about more concrete steps on our way in realizing this project. And I think it's very good that we do so after having very thoughtfully heard at the voices of our pupils and students. Then we go tackle the last aim, the last objective, and go another time, hopefully with less rain, following Martin Luther in Wittenberg, but this time it will be inside. A guided tour of the Luther house in Wittenberg, and then an evening service in the city church, not the castle church, the city church in Wittenberg. And after this kind of spiritual, meditative ending, we also go into conversation and have a good time together. The last day. The last day focuses the Reformation Jubilee 2017, which is not the absolute aim of this project, but a symbolic date kind of being important for it. Marlene Thieme, who has a strong position in organizing this Jubilee, will be telling us from a German perspective the current status of the preparation and plans. We have from our dear colleague from England, Richard Parrish here, and a response from an Anglican perspective. Then we will kind of try to bundle together what we have had during the days. That's what we have to do, and I think you started to sweat now because it's so much. But I hope that you see that we've tried to look that we have kind of a balance between not only hearing and listening and talking, but interacting in many dimensions. And we have to try to find that balance, because the most important persons here at this conference are not the ones standing here, but sitting there. And that's why we now want to proceed with the question, why are we here? And our idea was that we have one person from each continent answering this question very personally, but also as a symbol for the global reality we personalize in this room. And I want to ask from Africa, Frederick Nyobati, and from South America, Rosangela Magmanessa, from North America, Jonathan Labs, from Asia and Oceania, Janta Scheide, and from Europe Gerhard Janse to come here and say in a very personal matter, why are you here at this conference?
Why am I here? I would not like to take very long discussion, but to reflect especially on the aspect of being here on the path of the Protestantity as that which is globalized, as that which we accept everybody. Therefore, public as a school that will embrace all children from all dimensions, immaterial of their membership of the church. Again, Protestant school character as that type of school that makes visible its identity. On the other part, setting Protestant schools and focusing on the goals that will address the issue of quality, that will address the issue of equity, and that addresses the issue of access. And for equity, we want to bridge the gap between the socio-economic gap. For quality, we want to develop competences in the learners. And of course, for access to coordination, because we want to embrace everyone in society. And the last part of it, to look at it from a more global situation, that what critical attributes does the Protestant school address? And here we're thinking of issues of contributing to peace in society, issues of contributing to democracy, issues of contributing to tolerance, issues of contributing to accountability, and of course, doing all of this with the plurality that the Protestant school should have, and reflecting again on the Protestant church profile. Thank you very much.
Good morning, my name is Gerhard Janse. I think my first name is very difficult to pronounce. I think only Dutch people can pronounce the R, Gerhard. So you can also call me Gerard or Gerard. I'm 54 years old. My wife and I, we have 4 sons and also 3 grandchildren. From 1983 until April 2015, I worked at the same school. It's a little bit boring. I had all different kinds of positions, but after 30 years working at a reformed high school, I thought it's time to move to another school. And at the moment I'm superintendent of a Protestant school. And you can imagine that it's quite different when you work at a reform school or when you work at a Protestant school. I don't have the time to explain it, but maybe one thing you can imagine. At my school in Groningen, in the north of the Netherlands, at the reform school, everybody attended the church. Everybody was member of the reformed church, the teachers, the pupils, the parents. And at the moment, I'm a superintendent at a school in Friesland. That's another province in the Netherlands. And when I was appointed in April, I asked my staff, okay, we are a Protestant school, but when I meet a parent or when I meet a pupil, and I ask, what is the identity of this school, this Protestant school? And then it was very silent. Nobody knows. Yeah, they know something about it, but not enough. So I think it's my task that if you are a Protestant school, you have to describe what is the identity of a Protestant school. So you can, I can go to my colleagues in the Netherlands, but it's more interesting to discuss this with all people from all over the world, and that's one of the reasons why I'm here. Another reason is that at my former school, I established bilingual education, and when you have a bilingual school in the Netherlands, you have to do a lot of internationalization, and that's very nice to do. For example, we went to Denmark, and my students went to Thisted in the north of Denmark, and the superintendent of the free school Denmark I met this morning. And I did not tell you, but my students from my former school,
a reform school, went to your school, and it's wonderful to stay at the places from your parents. You don't go to a hotel, but you are involved in the culture of Denmark. And they were very surprised on Sunday when they attend church, because your church in Tistad was a Pentecostal church. That's quite different from a Reformed church. So my kids, and they had the age of 13, 14, and they, for the first time in their life, they went to another church, but a Reformed church, and they did not know what they saw. And I think that's a very good thing for Christians to go abroad and to see that you can be a Christian in Holland, but you can also be a Christian in for example, Denmark. So it's quite different, but you can learn how you organize it. So my second reason why I'm here is that I would like to have contact with principals all over the world to maybe make school partnerships, to establish exchange programs. That's another reason. And the last reason is, before I was a principal of superintendent, I used to be a history teacher. So I studied history. I read a lot about Luther, and I think it's really amazing that I'm here at this place where Luther was giving his lecture, and now I'm standing here. So it's amazing. When I was a history teacher, I used to tell stories, and one of the stories was the wonderful story of Luther. Well, you know all the story about him, and now I'm actually in this place in Wittenberg, and that's amazing. Well, I think it's more than 3 minutes, so I will stop. I'm very pleased that I'm here, and I hope we will have very good days together. And I hope that I can learn a lot about what is the identity of the Protestant school. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Ayantha Shaidi. I'm here from Hong Kong, representing the Asia Lutheran Education Association, which is a collegial network of 250 Protestant schools throughout East and Southeast Asia. And so I am here to share a few words with you from the region where Jesus Christ came as a baby, Asia. So let's jump in. First, the world today is cared for by 7.3 billion people. 4.4 billion of those, 60%, are in Asia. Region-wide, we are seeing population rates falling. In some places, they are severely falling, and increasing school competition. And in the marketplace of increasingly competitive school competition, Protestant schools are differentiating by the quality education that they provide. In India, we see that they are even on a trajectory to be heading towards replacement fertility. So this is happening region-wide. For some countries, this shift is transforming the familial and social structures that have been the foundation of their society for generations. In 1999, Southeast Asia saw 45% of its people living in extreme poverty. By 2011, this number was below 25% and continues to drop. But this declining poverty comes at a cost to the environment. Water pollution, deforestation, other effects such as loss of mangrove trees, both contribute to declining health, as well as exacerbating the effects of natural disasters. In 2015, more than 75% of boys and girls region-wide are enrolled in secondary education. But only 25% of non-agricultural wage earners are women. Working conditions in some areas of Asia are exemplary, and in other areas of Asia are deadly. In 2014, the Global Slavery Index reported 36 million, of the 36 million victims of human trafficking worldwide, 2/3 of them are from Asia. Today in Asia, we have wars, and we have rumors of wars. According to the Pew Research Center, 30% of people in Asia associate themselves with folk or spiritual religions. 25% are Hindu, 24% are Muslim, 12% are Buddhist, and 7% are Christian. Research projections out to 2050 assume that the percentage of Christians will remain steady at 7%. And yet, in contrast to that, we hear news that in China, in 10 years, it will be the most Christian nation in the world. So what does this mean for Protestant schools in Asia? First, it means we need to focus on broken relationships. How do we shine the light of grace through Jesus into the individual hearts who will impact the world of the future? Second, it should lead us to personal reflection of our own pride and motivations and to seek God's will in our educational service. One thing does not change. God is in control and has the ability to work things that we can't even dream of. So pray often and pray boldly. One thing never changes, that in creating humanity, God formed us to live in community, and He delights in bearing fruitfulness from our faithfulness. The schools in Asia face variations of many of the similar forces that you are experiencing elsewhere in the world. We also have the same Savior, Jesus, who has a message of hope into the forces of darkness that seek to draw us away. So, in Christ, our joy is restored. In Christ, all of our fear is cast out. Thanks be to God.
Good morning. Good morning. I had to use good morning. I don't get to say that very much, but my native language is English. I'm John Lobbs. I serve as Executive Director of Lutheran Education Association. I can't represent North America, but because I'm a token person from the continent here, I'm very happy to speak to you for a moment. My biggest challenge, my first challenge here, is to try and restrict a university professor to speaking for 3 minutes. But it's hard to make it. No, just a couple of very personal reflections. First of all, my own background has led me to where I am. God, I believe, uses us and everything that we do in our background to lead up to this point. And I could talk for hours and hours about the way in which He has used all of the incidents in my life from growing up first in the Midwest of the United States in a very traditional Lutheran setting. My father was a Lutheran school principal, which took him to the city of New Orleans in the early 1960s, where you walk into a totally different cultural environment and right in the middle of the civil rights movement and all of those things, and learning as a child about the difference. But I was at a Lutheran church that at that time was almost 150 years old. And then we moved to New York City, where we found ourselves in a congregation, though Lutheran, was organized in the 1600s, when New York was still New Amsterdam. And we found out that the history, see, it all comes back to unbeknownst to me, I mean, we had a pastor named Trinklein and an organist named Aufdenberger, which is about as German as you can get, and yet the history of this organization, of this church, and everything in the context of New York City, and then moving on into various other contexts, it led me to a much fuller understanding of what our world is like, even just at that time from a North American perspective. But God has led me to a number of different experiences because of my ministry with LEA and because of all the connections I've had internationally to understanding how big a world we have and how small it is in the Christian church. We need to be thinking together, we need to be acting together, we need to be talking together. And so in North America, just to give you a little idea, there are about 34,000 private schools. I just looked this up because it was of interest to me too, comprising about 25% of all the schools in the United States. And the vast majority of those are religious schools. Because we're talking in the Protestant context here, I want you to know about a quarter of them are Protestant. So within our Lutheran community, in which I work more closely, it's a part of a much bigger community in North America. We face many of the same issues and challenges as you do in your parts of the world. Even from discussions I had yesterday walking around the city, we found out about some common issues and common topics that we need to be talking about. Things that we face regarding the mission and the value of our respective organizations, churches, funding issues, the perception of the community and family about what that means. How does the church reach out to those families in a constantly changing society and in our world? And how do we keep to the core mission of our church and our understanding of what God teaches us through the Bible? So it's a great joy to be able to be with even a larger context of all of you. It's wonderful to be able to talk in a way about